nelayan seperti mapukat, memancing. Kadang dapat, kadang tidak ada. Mereka itu hidupnya hanya untuk mencari, hanya untuk makan saja. Sehari-hariannya mereka ada hasil dijual kalau sama pengumpul. Ada hasil, ada uangnya belikan beras, seperti sagu. Ada sisanya mungkin disimpan untuk beli bensin lagi untuk esok harinya. Begitu. Sejak saya masih kecil, saya sudah belajar memancing, mapukat. Kalau mapukat, bonti-bonti, bete-bete, ikan putih.
Ambil aja.
Ini keruh air agak susah nih ikan karena sebelumnya itu kan terang air, ikan ya lemah ya. Didapat kadang 10 kilo, ada 8 kilo. Sekarang kadang 2 kilo, 3 kilo kadang.
Ikan dulu bagaimana? Kurang tahu. Dulu ikan banjir sebelum ada penambang begini toh. Sekarang ada penambang.
Tabur air, baga tidak kena nih. Mau harap gaji. Untuk kalau kasih masuk di tambang. Pengaruh ini kanunya laut. Merah air. Pukat kotor.
Tidak ada.
Dia tahu tambangnya. Tidak tahu kalau yang menambangnya tahu. Orang Cina juga kan di sini tidak ada perhatiannya sama kita kalau dia masuk di sini, seperti memberi atau mungkin kalau kedepannya ini kalau untuk di laut ini sudah mulai mengurang ini Pak karena air sudah keruh toh. Ya sebenarnya khawatir tapi kita mau apa juga ini adanya lumpur karena kita juga mau bicara mungkin juga orang masih tidak percaya kah atau bagaimana.
In our day-to-day existence, critical minerals are fundamentally important to many of the things that we do. The use of rare earths in smartphones not only makes them interactive, it makes them stronger. The use of cobalt is not only important in building of batteries for EVs, which will dominate the marketplace in the future, but also in terms of the defense technologies that are much more resilient in warfare. They're fundamentally important for the future of transportation in the way that oil, petroleum, gasoline were fundamental at the end of the 19th century through the 20th century and into the 21st century. Currently, the United States government keeps a list of about 50 critical minerals. They're minerals which are essential for the effective functioning of the US economy, but in which there are challenges in terms of supply.
Me hapa tena nashuka hata mjimu hata ya 50 metra nashukaka. Shikia langu tena boka. Parce que chaque jour
Just as with oil, critical minerals tend to be located in countries which are often difficult to deal with.
The smartphone, the toothbrush, the e-bike, the laptop, tablet, camera, hearing aid, and smartwatch. The weed whacker, the pacemaker. From the mundane to the life-saving, lithium-ion powered devices get us through the day. The demand for batteries and the minerals that go in them has skyrocketed in just a few years.
Right now, most of those minerals are controlled by China. That's a vulnerability.
The United States really was asleep at the wheel for many years. The Chinese had this vision of the future whereby if they could acquire a monopolistic position on critical minerals, that they would be able to derive enormous political and economic power from it. And they saw that much better than we did.
Access to minerals such as lithium, cobalt, and nickel has emerged as a vital geopolitical, economic, and social frontline. And the race is on.
When we say the critical or strategic mineral, critical to whom?
These are foreign companies coming into our ancestral land and making claim to it and walking out millionaires.
What is Battery Valley?
We are creating an industry that does not exist in Europe.
We're engaged in a struggle for survival and competitiveness for an industry which means a lot to huge swathes of this country.
A geopolitical conversation, a security conversation, a China conversation, a human rights conversation, a labor conversation, all at the same time.
We are on a desperately urgent search for critical minerals.
If you want to make a lithium battery, you will need lithium. A soft, silvery white alkaline metal. Perhaps the largest lithium deposit in the world is located beneath these salt flats in Bolivia.
Y el salar está conformado por una capa de sal, adentro una capa de lodo, más adentro otra capa de sal. Unos 100 metros aproximadamente hay oro, decían. Ahora estamos hablando del oro blanco. Hay litio.
Yet to date, most of Bolivia's lithium remains underground. A fortune astonishingly close, but still out of reach.
Todo el trabajo que yo lo hago es todo con la sal. No he trabajado yo en el litio. Mayormente de la gente vive de la sal, vive aquí en Colchani. Sacan desde mi bisabuelo la sal y va a ir sacando mi abuelo, mi papá. Ahora yo estoy sacando, ¿no? Después de eso ya mi hijo va a sacar sal. El litio en sí está aquí abajo está el litio, ¿no? Porque hay mucho litio, pero todavía no están llevando. Si sabría sería, mejor sería, pero no sabemos nada ahorita en Colchani.
A veces hablan de la riqueza que puede traer el litio.
No sé. De eso no podría darle información porque no sé, tampoco he escuchado nada.
Aquí hay un refrán que dice que los recursos naturales son el pan de hoy y el hambre de mañana. Ya que Bolivia es un país que ha vivido siempre de la extracción de recursos naturales no renovables, ¿no? Si tú ves la historia de Bolivia, hemos pasado de la plata al estaño, del estaño a la goma, de la goma al petróleo y el gas. Y ahora vamos a pasar al litio, ¿no? Repetimos siempre la misma historia, ¿no? Nos emocionamos por la posibilidad de un gran negocio en puertas, ¿no? Debatimos y peleamos entre nosotros para ver si lo van a realizar tales o cuales empresas. Y finalmente los yacimientos se agotan y lo que dejan en el país es, digamos, sueños rotos y mucha corrupción también. Y las lecciones de cada una de estas explotaciones no se toman en cuenta, ¿no? Esta tragedia del extractivismo.
Y el Cerro Rico de Potosí era pues un cerro verde, no era lo que vemos ahora. Era un cerro verde el descubrimiento de la plata por un indígena, Diego Hualpa, condujo a que los españoles encuentren los filones de plata que estaban a flor de piel. Entonces, desde el 1 de abril de 1545 para adelante, se da un proceso extractivo de las riquezas del Cerro Rico de Potosí, dando el Cerro Rico de Potosí hasta nuestros días.
Hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of miners have died in Cerro Rico since the 16th century. It is known as the mountain that eats men.
La vida de un minero no tiene proceso largo. Y rápido se puede morir.
Ya, así es, hermano.
Trabajar dentro de la tierra es un poco difícil porque cualquier rato puede pasar accidente. Eso es un trabajo minero, eso es riesgoso.
Muy valiente soy. Gracias.
Mis hijos tienen que estudiar algo, profesión. Ya no tienen que tragar polvo, nada como.
El departamento de Potosí tiene los mayores recursos en relación al litio y los evaporíticos. Somos y hemos sido los primeros productores de estaño, somos los primeros productores de zinc, pero y lógicamente somos el departamento más pobre de Bolivia.
Y tiene, bueno, las mayores reservas en salmuera de litio del mundo. Los potosinos quieren asegurarse de que ese dinero quede con ellos, se quede con ellos. En el pasado lo que ha ocurrido es que la oposición de Potosí a este tipo de negocios los ha frustrado, ha imposibilitado que estos negocios prosperen.
Estas empresas que hacen sus convenios con el gobierno nacional no han convenido en absoluto a nuestra ciudad, a nuestra capital, a nuestro distrito.
Vemos al litio como una oportunidad que no tenemos que dejarla escapar de las manos.
Cuando el 2018 el gobierno de Evo Morales contratan a una empresa alemana para producir litio, hizo que Potosí estuviera en el centro de la gran insurrección que hubo, en realidad, enardecido en contra del contrato.
¡Sí se respeta, carajo! ¡Sí se respeta, carajo!
Evo Morales suspendió el contrato con la empresa alemana, dijo que ya no se iba a explotar litio. Antes de renunciar,
el litio es potosino, es para las familias potosinas, es para el desarrollo potosino, es para nuestras generaciones futuras. Ese es el litio para un potosino.
In 2023, Bolivia signed 3 new international agreements to extract lithium. One was with a Russian state-owned company. The other 2 with companies from China.
En Bolivia vivimos la Guerra Fría a la usanza de los años 50, ¿no? A esa usanza. O sea, la gente todavía tiene en el ideario de que el Che Guevara, que la KGB, la CIA...
Stay out of this hemisphere and don't try to start your plans and your conspiracies over here.
Pero sí vivimos una Guerra Fría. Y esa Guerra Fría es la lucha por los recursos naturales.
Mira, venga. Allá está el campamento, se ve, al frente allá que se ven. Ese es el campamento de Yipi. Somos la parte, digamos, de transporte, ¿no? Transporte. Prácticamente nosotros no entramos a la planta, solamente trabajamos fuera de la planta, al contorno de la planta.
¿Quisieras trabajar adentro?
Lo que ha estado haciendo planta, creo que son chinos. Chinos son.
No ha traído absolutamente nada de trabajo, ¿no? Inicialmente, ¿de dónde han venido? Los chinos, estaban llenos de chinos, estaban en el salar. Ahí ha venido el ruso, ingeniero ruso. En La Paz he pedido la planilla de los trabajadores. ¿Cuántos de mi provincia, o del departamento de Potosí, cuántos trabajadores hay? Quería saber, pero no me lo quisieron imprimir. Y nosotros queremos que dé fuentes laborales a nuestra gente. O caso contrario, nosotros vamos a tomar otras medidas, ¿no?
¿Cómo serían las otras medidas?
Bueno, ir al bloquear al litio, a la planta del litio. La única situación nos queda, no nos toca más otra, ¿no?
It's a 10-hour drive from the salt flats of Bolivia to the Atacama Desert in northern Chile. It's 10 hours through the Altiplano, through the Andean mountains, through the scars left by the open veins of Latin America. But if you want to make a lithium battery, you will need the Atacama. Chile is the world's second largest lithium producer, and Chilean lithium comes from this desert, the driest place on Earth.
Estamos acá en el salar de Atacama, el desierto más árido del planeta. Gracias al efecto, ¿cierto?, de la evaporación, van precipitando sales y la salmuera se va concentrando en el litio. Primero que todo, tiene las leyes más altas, el litio y potasio en el planeta. Y por tanto hay una evaporación altísima, que es lo que ocupamos para evaporar en poza. Hay una radiación importante, estamos en un desierto seco. SQM tenemos cerca de 400 pozos de extracción de salmuera, tenemos 49 millones de metros cuadrados de pozas de evaporación. Nosotros tenemos un proceso continuo que dura entre 12 a 14 meses, con una concentración de litio de 0.17, llegando a una etapa final de concentración entre 4.7 y hasta 6% de litio. Y esa es la solución de cloruro de litio alto en boro que enviamos hacia la planta carbonato e hidróxido de litio. Actualmente estamos produciendo cerca de 200.000 toneladas de TLC, de carbonato de litio equivalente, y podemos continuar aumentando esta producción por mucho tiempo más.
Es que igual es como parte de la política chilena, ¿no? Tener zonas de sacrificio. Se sacrificó toda la región de Antofagasta y Calama por el cobre. Calama es la ciudad más contaminada de Chile, porque esta es una danza de muchos millones de dólares, de miles de millones de dólares. El salar de Atacama se está quedando sin agua porque el recurso que se ocupa para extraer el litio es el agua. Mi nombre es Cristian Ortiz. Yo habito en San Pedro de Atacama desde hace aproximadamente 40 años y el litio está, no sé, 100 metros más abajo en la salmuera, que es el agua que circula por el salar de Atacama. Y se supone que en este lugar, que tiene más o menos 120 kilómetros de largo y 60 kilómetros en la parte más ancha, está el 40% de las reservas mundiales de litio. No es que el litio esté, digamos, en forma de piedra. El litio viene en el agua.
En mi mano tengo una botella donde está el litio. Este es el litio que se llevan en camión aljibe. Para ellos es reflejo de dólares y todo, pero acá para nosotros tiene un valor espiritual el agua. Esta es el agua que se está cuidando acá, se está acumulando y guardando para este proceso de siembra que viene. Esto, cuando uno succiona mucho en el lado de abajo, estos acuíferos no alcanzan a llenarse.
Por una tonelada de carbonato de litio tú tienes que evaporar 200 toneladas de agua. Entonces es muy extraño que el humano proceda así. Pero ya lo que se sacó, esos casi 20 centímetros del nivel freático, y si vuelven van a pasar millones de años para poder restaurar.
Y ya no tenemos agua ni para regar. Tenemos agua, pero antes recibíamos, en este estanque que está allá abajo, recibíamos 50 litros por segundo y ahora no recibimos ni 20.
Ellos, si uno va a hablar uno solo, se ríen de nosotros. Si nosotros algún día los dejan aquí, los secan, ¿qué vamos a hacer?
Lo que está claro es que eso va a transformar en el Salar de Atacama en una cloaca en el futuro próximo. El lucro económico manda al lucro natural. Estamos hablando de empresas poderosas dentro del mundo, consorcios que se mueven en todas partes del mundo.
O sea, sí, porque todos estos negocios están conectados con las grandes familias de acá de Chile, por los dueños del país. Y eso viene de antes, eso viene de la dictadura hasta el día de hoy.
Bueno, lo que hay que entender de toda esta situación que está pasando ahora con el boom mundial del litio, en los años 60, se remonta a antes de la época de Allende. Por iniciativa del gobierno, se crea la Sociedad Química de Chile. Era revolucionario, él quería hacer grandes cambios. Lo que quería hacer Allende era nacionalizar los productos que eran más masivos en esa época. Se creó la Sociedad Chilena de Litio.
Impedirme voluntad que hacer cumplir el programa del pueblo. Solo acribillar.
Claro, este presidente que fue electo por votación popular, mucha gente de la derecha y junto con la CIA, con Estados Unidos, no les convenía que Allende fuera el presidente de Chile. Entonces se fraguó un golpe de Estado entre los grandes capitales que habían en Chile en esa época, políticos de extrema derecha, y los militares para hacer un golpe de Estado el 11 de septiembre del 73. Y que ha muerto mucha gente. Incluso hasta el día de hoy hay desaparecidos.
¿Qué pasó a Allende?
Lo mataron. Después del golpe militar, Pinochet empezó a privatizar todo. Los servicios públicos, el agua, la electricidad, la telefonía, las minas, los minerales. El caso de la Sociedad Química y Minera de Chile, que en ese tiempo estaba empezando ya a explotar algo del litio, que fue vendida a un yerno de Pinochet. ¿ah? Y por una cantidad irrisoria de dinero, o sea, ahora se han convertido en ganancias anuales sobre los 20.000 millones de dólares. Entonces, si hablamos de por qué la gente está descontenta, es porque quitaron algo que era del Estado y se lo dieron a un privado que era familiar de Pinochet, ¿no? Y el cual ha usufructuado hasta ahora de todo ese dinero.
The Atacama's major lithium producers have sought the appearance of consent from the local communities. They got it in exchange for royalty payments made directly to the communities.
Por lo tanto, estamos hablando de una no despreciable cantidad de dinero para lo que son estas comunidades, esta realidad. ¿Qué es lo que necesitan?
¿Cree que están intentando comprar a las comunidades?
No, ya las compraron, no es que intenten. Es entredicho de negociar.
Las comunidades que firmaban el convenio iban a recibir el beneficio. Sí, mi comunidad lo firmó. Fue una de las últimas que firmó. No se manejaba mucha información. Está todo firmado y en realidad tienen que sacar las firmas a las comunidades para poder llevarlo a cabo.
He hecho uso de los beneficios. Es muy controversial porque mucha de la gente que recibe estos beneficios no están de acuerdo con que se deprede el planeta. Pero aún así reciben todos estos beneficios porque es lo único que se puede hacer, ¿no? Ya muchos se rinden y dicen, si ya están destruyendo el planeta, por lo menos que dejen algo acá, ¿no?
If you want to build a lithium battery, you will need to refine your lithium. But that doesn't happen here, at least not yet. Instead, Chilean lithium is trucked from the Atacama to Antofagasta and then on to the ports, where it will be shipped across the Pacific Ocean, most often to the one country that dominates critical mineral refinement. Yellow gold, white gold, silver. What's the difference? Once again, the riches of an era leave these shores.
China was a late comer in terms of EV cars, solar panels, and green technology, or green power, basically. But you remember, 10, probably 15 years ago, there was a big criticism on China. A typical example was in Beijing. Heavily polluted, there's a smoke, you don't see a blue sky. China said, okay, we realize we cannot pollute. Let's find a new alternative. Let's have a paradigm shift. Let's develop the green energy, which China did not.
Electric vehicles are one of the industries that they want to dominate as part of what President Xi Jinping has called the Great Rejuvenation of the Chinese nation, a multi-decade-long series of investments that they want to make in order for China to be dominant, first as a regional power and then as a global power.
There were a lot of subsidies going on, first to manufacturers, then to consumers who buy electric cars.
And I think having sort of played second fiddle to European and US auto manufacturers, China saw that it had an opportunity to leapfrog by jumping into this new technology.
When the time really comes, the supply chain, the technology is already mature for implementation.
The US is still dominant, oil and petroleum and gas. Green technology, with green energy now, China is the leader.
For a long time, the United States and other countries in the West thought, well, if it's to do with mining, if it's to do with getting these basic commodities, let's ask somebody else to do it for us, because then we don't have to worry about the dirtier side of this equation.
Actually, China isn't a leading producer from a mining perspective. Geologically, it doesn't have the best assets. What it has done incredibly strategically is move the processing steps in the supply chain to within its borders, and that means that the raw material, wherever it's being extracted in the world, needs to sort of flow through China to make its way into the battery supply chain.
60% of the world's nickel refining is controlled by China. 70% of the world's lithium refining occurs in China. 75% of the world's cobalt refining occurs in China.
In many ways, the processing and refining of critical minerals is more important than its extraction. Once you get it out of the ground, it's still a basic commodity which you can't do very much with. So you have to transform it into a usable form. And because the Chinese have been so strategic about not just building that capacity within Chinese territory, but in other parts of the world but owned by Chinese companies, they have this stranglehold on the market. China, it dominates the map.
Indonesia, you had a president that came into office about a decade ago looking for investment and saw China as that source and said, well, if China is going to be the first mover, we owe it to ourselves to actually test that proposition. And that's actually ended up what's been happening. I mean, Chinese companies have really flooded into Indonesia in the nickel space.
Nickel is a vital component of the lithium battery, critical for extending a battery's runtime between charges. Indonesia supplies over half of the world's nickel. Its biggest mines and smelters are controlled by Chinese firms.
Di bagian ferronickel, Pak. Itu perusahaan bekerja sama Indonesia sama Cina, Pak, yang dinaungi perusahaan Tingsan.
But are the Indonesian politicians and officials striking the best deal, not just for themselves, but for Indonesia as a country and the Indonesian people?
Itu petani sawah ini kerja sawah itu budidaya kita ini kerja sawah petani sawah ini itu. Sebelum ada perusahaan ya, kalau sebelum ada perusahaan ini kan dulu hutan semua, jadi tidak ada masalahnya kalau kita bertani itu menanam, jelas kita yakin bahwa bisa panen. Tapi sekarang belum tentu itu. Dulu kan sungai besar. Nah sekarang ini tertimbun di situ, akhirnya dampak banjir. Hujan sedikit, sebentar langsung ada banjir. Nah yang bunyi begini ya, itu 24 jam itu bunyi terus. Tidak pernah mati mesin. Siang malam.
The Chinese company, either they don't have this environment policy in place, they don't care enough about their environment. I grew up in China. I knew what the manufacture pollution looks like. I grew up in a chemical factory. Both my parents worked for the chemical factories. And that is a pollute first, clean up second. This type of the development should not be repeated in other continents.
Cobalt na makanya mingi. Ku cobalt iku noir. Ku cobalt inachangana na cuivre. Njo cuivre na ya vert. Ku inyo zipata tu ivia. Bigu biote, kiku qui a vert ou qui a noir. Il faut le connaître enseignant. Mais difficulté, ma moyen. Mais nanga, quand tu touches makuta ni wapi? Nanga Mkongo. Jina nguni Jean de Deux Kabala Bewa Muteba.
Mimi naita kwa jina Joseph.
Jina yangu ni Kudize
Fredi Kiungu Kalenge.
Malango Norbert.
Kazi yangu mimi natumika sana mu creusage.
Chimbula maibwe.
Mimi ni kucreuser.
Mimi ni kucreuser.
Sie tunafanya kazi ya creusage.
If you want your cell phone, your laptop, your electric vehicle to last longer and not to overheat, you will need cobalt. Silvery blue, brittle, and rare. 70% of the world's cobalt comes from the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Pale kwa creusage na kazi. Mais kama napata tena kazi mtini.
Ça dépend donc comment tu veux ma couche il court tembea sous forme ma vitu nitaka shibenyi donc ma filon.
Problème ya mole kama tuko na shuka. Bubwingi ya kwenda kama panakuya njimo inarefuka sana. Nikalara inspiration ya kiloko. Njo tunatilizaka sasa ma moteur na ma souffleur.
Jona ingesa ile ya 25 metres unang'aa yulu unang'aa chini wote wote na moto ndio unaingia kalulu. Ndio unapata mshipi ya cuivre. Ndisi nitakupatia ndio uingie. Ndio deja ni kaburi. Ni kaburi. Ndio kama mtu anatusha roho yake anaenda kukaria. Ni kufa au kupona.
Inafika mais inatufungia mais pale deja ile pale ilinipatia kaboka mais après tena mashuki loko tena mina ngarana sa bonjo vile binakuyaka.
Uba creuser boat. Vile mtasema atatere Mungu ndio atusaidiaka. Mbele siku ile mimi napata cobalt ile miranza utafuta. Kama mimi naipata tu cobalt hiyo inuari inaanza kuonekana.
Fura, unapata mari, unaona deja vitu vya kuimisha. Mateso ile mtesaka utavaa kuchimbula utenaisha.
Semaine ka creuser ashafika en production ya cobalt sasa hii iko na teneur ya bien. Semaine mishezi kumangie yangu $800. Kushuka. Siwezi kumangia. Kama tena itoke bien. C'est que minezi kupata ta $30.
Cobalt uko ba négocier ba mingi, mais ba mingi tunajua humu ba chinois. Puisque de nos jours, façon tunatumika hata kama mimi napenda nifanye charge yangu niende na cuisine. Mimi sina na contrat cuisine, mimi sitenda cuisine hapana. Il faut nipite derrière chinois moya, ule chinois tempela cuisine. Para chinois anasema beba ta transport, mais 0%.
80% of the DRC's cobalt output is owned by Chinese companies, refined in China, and then sold to battery makers around the world.
Njoo nao ni kushinda wabebaka njoo wabebaka bo. A part ça monsieur kunyini.
Pale beko napima banatuacha shie nje. Baendo banapima maitorex yote bineneana banakuwa banatuverser yetu abata tuverser mkomi jeune chinois batenda verser kwa ule chinois. Maintenant c'est chinois atanyangalia na mikaloko.
Bei hapa tu unasema aina ya bia njuu abayuzi. Shita sema bo beo ne user na wasa bela bia bule mimi natumika kazi ya mingi Tokyo kiloko. C'est que haitufurahishe muita.
The Chinese are not unique. When it comes to exploiting a place and taking advantage of it, the Chinese use the same model everybody else. The model is exploitation, the model of taking resources, and the model it calls for maximization of profit. That is the game. The question is, how do African countries best position themselves so they can take advantage of what the Chinese are availing to them?
So if China has a big market, China can purchase, China can refine it. Who else can provide that kind of capacity?
There is a reality that we're all facing, and that is we cannot do it without a stable supply of critical minerals. Experts tell us that we're going to need 42 times the amount of lithium that we have today by 2040 or 2050. We're going to need 25 times the amount of manganese that we have today. Cobalt, right now, most of those minerals are controlled by China. That's a vulnerability.
The first step was to make sure they had access to the basic commodities, the raw materials. The second step was how do you transform those and add value. The third step, which they're perfectly prepared for, is how do we get that into the final end product. When you see the vehicles that China exports overseas, they're lower cost and they're often better quality in terms of the battery technology. And this should be a cause of concern for a lot of policymakers. Once you see supplies of those critical minerals being cut off, rampant inflation, empty shelves, or in this case, empty inventories, and of course, in terms of the defense and military industries.
We have not invested in segments of the supply chain that are essential at all. We have to catch up.
If you want to make a lithium battery with lithium mined in the United States, there is an option. West of the Rocky Mountains, beneath the Oregon Badlands, by the sagebrush deserts of northern Nevada, sits Thacker Pass, home to one of the world's largest lithium deposits. Lithium Americas, a Canadian company, has broken ground on a massive open-pit mine to reach it.
Typically, lithium is extracted from South America or Australia. They tend to send that material in a concentrate elsewhere to get processed. In particular, China, we're changing that. We're changing it right here at Thacker Pass. The United States is way behind in battery development. Currently, the United States produces about 5,000 tons of lithium carbonate per year. We'll start by producing 40,000 tons, and then we'll double that once we double the size of our plant. 80,000 tons equates to about 2 million electric vehicles per year. We need to produce these things here in the United States, and that's what we're doing.
But there is a catch. If you want to extract lithium from Thacker Pass, you will need an open-pit mine on land that borders the Fort McDermott Reservation, land that the Paiute and Shoshone tribe had been herded onto following centuries of oppression. The mine site itself is soaked red in native blood.
The Indians discovered their danger when the captain ordered Lieutenant Littlefield and 9 men to advance between the mountain and the camp. A charge was ordered, and each officer and man went for scalps and fought the scattering devils over several miles, in which time all were killed that could be found. The Oahe Avalanche newspaper, September 30th, 1865.
America's been committing these crimes against us for hundreds and hundreds of years, but it seems like it's okay if it happens against First People or Indigenous peoples. It seems like America, the people, think it's okay.
The Fort McDermott Reservation Tribal Council supports the development of the Thacker Pass mine.
I really don't understand that part. And if you show them a little bit of money, you promise them, oh, we're gonna give you this, we're gonna make this for you. And then right away, they're all for it.
When this company will come in and say, we're gonna buy you this, we're gonna pay for this, we're gonna build a new building, that keeps them quiet.
Some of the Indians still feel like the white man's a good man and he's gonna help us, but he's not helping us, he's helping himself. They gotta accept who's gonna suffer.
My name is Arlo Crutcher, chairman of our tribe.
I'm a member of the Fort McDermott Paiute Shoshone tribe, born and raised here on the reservation. My grandpa was the first chairman of our tribe. When they established tribal government here, he was the first chairman. My dad was the vice chairman. Work comes along with the seasons, springtime. We turn them out on the range, brand, move cattle out, drive them out quite a ways, and do a lot of roping, riding, rodeo a little bit. I guess you could say that's my lifestyle. I'm a rancher, cowboy. You know, I guess the only thing we can really call as our natural resources is the land and the water that we're able to use. But the rest of it, natural resources, it doesn't belong to us. It belongs to the United States government. That's just how it is. They're going to continue on fighting it, but it's here.
Without the mines, what other opportunities are there?
I mean, there's like drilling, you got mining, traveling, like, I don't know, let's say, geez, I don't know. You know, it's just, the jobs are very limited out here.
I needed some income. I drive heavy equipment out there, haul truck and dozer. Jobs are kind of hard to find around here.
Sitting in this position here, what do you do? That's the question. What do you do for your people? Do you say no? What's best for your community? Because they're here. They're here.
The project has been supported by both the Trump and Biden administrations to reduce dependence on foreign minerals.
You know, this is probably one thing that two presidents that's never agreed on one thing and never will had agreed on, and they pushed it, and that's why it came through.
Even if the economy is slowing down, the demand for lithium-ion batteries, especially big batteries used in electric vehicles, it continues to soar. This is a powerful secular growth theme, and I don't think anything can stop it.
Nevada's supply of lithium could be an economic giant for the state, but not everyone is on board.
The mining company Lithium Americas faces legal challenges from groups who want to block the project.
It's the mining law of 1872. And they're still treating us the same way they did over 100 years ago in 2023. To still treat us like we're in the 1800s, you know, isn't sufficient enough for us.
The people are divided. Some are visibly against it, but the tribal council isn't.
They're building us a $5 million project. It's a daycare, Head Start, cultural center, and we asked them to add in a computer lab to it. So they're building that for us. It's not much, but it's a lot for our tribe because we don't have the money for that stuff.
This tribe is one of the poorest in the nation. Their poverty is being weaponized by these mining companies. It's communities that have their back against the wall.
Some of the people who are protesting, they look at us, they look at me that way too, as far as we're allowing lithium, we're allowing the white people to use us. With an open mind, I can say we're all guilty of it. I'm not going to argue it. Sure, how else are you going to get some things done?
The federal judge has once again ruled the Thacker Pass lithium mine can move forward. Today's ruling clears the way for the developer, Lithium Americas, to begin construction as early as next week.
My name's Shania Lenore, and I'm from Nevada. I heard about this place that they were hiring, so I applied. Ended up coming out here and being one of the first 7.
What kind of opportunity has it been for you here?
It's been the best one ever.
When our mining contractor hires people, it's not for a temporary construction job, it's for a long-term job that they could have for many, many years to come, many decades to come. We're going to pay roughly twice the state average. Strong salary to support families.
Well, a lot of my family don't like it. They believe we're destroying the sacred sites, but I don't see nothing wrong with it. They don't pay my bills. If they don't like what I'm doing, they can go watch somebody else and complain about somebody else. I plan on retiring from here, and I'll probably be real old watching all the young people doing the things that I did.
I don't like it. All the wind and the air that's coming this way, that's going to affect all this reservation right here. Even people with a lot of cattle, it's going to ruin the land. But there's nothing a person can do right now.
You're talking about some quality table fare?
We make gloves, moccasins, dress. They scrape the hide, they soften it, and they smoke it. It turns a real pretty brown color. All these Indian ways of doing things. These young ones like to have grandsons, and what are they going to think when they grow up, when this land's all dried up and the water's going to be gone, the water of life is going to be all dried up?
Yeah, it's crazy. I think that mine, to be honest with you, shouldn't even been there, because whoever okayed something like that from this reservation didn't even get acknowledgement from none of these people. So in my book, whatever they did was illegal. Did they help certain people? Yeah. Did they help themselves? Fucking A, they did. Who the hell gives a shit about a bunch of digger Indians from Fort McDermott anyway? Yappa.
Mm-hmm.
The potential with lithium is 3.04 volts. Graphite counter potential is minus 0.7. Many of the lithium-ion cells have a nominal potential of 3.7 volts. The graphite intercalation behavior phase changes decomposes aspects in the electrolyte to form a passivation layer. Only with this passivation layer are you able to make the solventation handoff to make this thing store energy. Lithium ions migrate from the anode to the cathode across the electrolyte, and each one carries one electron of charge difference. This is how the battery works.
Elle avait la jeunesse et moi l'assurance des années vécues. Mais face à elle, j'étais comme un gamin perdu.
In the 1980s, the shipyard closed down. We all left this area. Steel industry, we had a big shipyard, we had 2 refineries, refining crude oil. When the last refinery closed down in Dunkirk, the Dunkirk area lost approximately 10,000 jobs. So Dunkirk no longer.
Regarde bien. Les centres-villes, ils sont morts, mais ils sont morts. Il n'y a plus que ça qui tourne, parce que ça fait les jeux et l'auto en même temps.
Entre son cœur et mon cœur jaillit un arc-en-ciel. Dans le froid d'hiver.
And I came back here 15 years later and participating to the redeployment of the port of Dunkirk to reconsider what could be the new industry for Dunkirk. What is Battery Valley? It's you've probably heard of the Silicon Valley, maybe? There are 4 gigafactories in France at the moment under construction, within 80 kilometers away from the port of Dunkirk. And these gigafactories are bringing other activities, such as manufacturing of cams and pre-cams for the batteries, recycling for the batteries, and all the way to the automotive industry, which this is new business.
Et effectivement, il a fallu réindustrialiser. Donc on est bien sur une troisième révolution industrielle, et pour nous, c'est un changement de paradigme complet.
We saw how the battery charges, and then you have the energy on the cell. I think it's a great opportunities for young people. In Dunkirk, it is the best sector to be in because it's the sector where we will have the most work.
We are creating an industry that does not exist in Europe. Batteries in Europe, it's close to zero now.
C'est-à-dire que sur la deuxième machine...
So we have to train people, we have to coach people.
On avait dit que le C blanche était pour l'air.
And they will be able to learn and to be very efficient within the company.
Si 4 il est ouvert, qu'est-ce qui se passe?
We have a deadline, a very clear deadline. In 2035, it won't be possible to buy anything but an electrical car in Europe. So, what do we have to do to build, develop, design batteries for Europe in Europe? We decided to do so, but 10 or 15 years after. So here we are now, trying to catch up. Yes, we are for sure, we are late.
This is a mechanical process to make these stacks. We need 4 stacks to make one cell. We need 8 cells to make one module, and the car maker needs around 12 modules to make one battery. We will produce 82 million cells per year, 900,000 cars for 1 year.
This region is creating a new industrial revolution. It will be a very important, pivotal, for sure, region for the rest of France and the rest of Europe, definitely.
Nickel, cobalt, lithium. New solutions bring new challenges. New challenges bring new solutions. The green planet suffers. Our green industries thrive. The power of innovation charges forward.
If you compare a lithium-ion battery to oil or gas, you use oil and gas once and it's gone. But with a lithium-ion battery, those metals don't degrade. The materials inside them are infinitely recyclable. You can use the lithium, the nickel, the cobalt over and over again, literally infinitely. We're here at Ascend Elements in Covington, Georgia, and we recycle electric vehicle batteries. So we take them in here, we recycle them, and then we create a material that can be put into new electric vehicle batteries.
We are able to pull lithium, nickel, and copper, aluminum out of these batteries that are spent, and we are able to reprocess it into what's going to become a new battery in a vehicle in the future. We destroy batteries that are no longer of use. We grind them up and then we recover everything out of those batteries rather than send them down a waste stream that has them go to a landfill. It doesn't matter whether it's a battery that goes into a cell phone or into a vehicle. They all have a lot of value because most of those materials in a battery were mined out of the ground that we had to buy off other entities. For us, we have a lot of stock here in the United States that already contains all this. We just need to find a way to refine it, recycle it, rather than sending it to landfill.
From the salt flats of South America to the red earth of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, from the smelters in Indonesia to the factories in northern France, to recycling plants in rural Georgia. The hunt for critical minerals redefines communities, economies, and geopolitics. And this race is just getting started.